In this video, we're going to be discussing Guarantor and looking at changing or adding a guarantor to a patient's account. Your system will require a guarantor for those patients that are minors. The guarantor is the person who will be receiving the statement and be responsible for paying the bill. To begin, let's start by looking up our patient. When we find the patient that we want to edit, we open that patient and navigate to the guarantor page. From here, we can see that this patient already has a guarantor. In this case, it's the patient's mother. For example, today, the patient's father is going to be made the guarantor. Again, the guarantor is the person or parties responsible for paying the balance of the bill. The statement will be directed to the guarantor. To add a guarantor, we use the Add Guarantor button in the upper right-hand corner. We want to add the new guarantor before we make the old one inactive, as this is a minor and a guarantor is always required. We fill in the required fields along with the guarantor's address, and once we save, we have both guarantors listed at the top, but also have a status of primary. To correct the secondary status, click on that guarantor and change this status from primary to secondary. The primary guarantor is now the father, with the secondary guarantor as the patient's mother. If the secondary guarantor is no longer required and we wish to make that inactive, add an end date effective for that guarantor and save. The guarantor will be made inactive and will no longer be used until reactivated. This patient can now be sent to a statement for any balances owed, and that statement will go to the guarantor, which in this case will be the patient's father.